Case, T, counterplan, politics, have the SOP available to write up.
Yeah.
Can I get your mouse?
You're reading out mine. If you're pulling up the
Okay. I reckon. Okay. External Washington Post and more evidence which is telling that OCO is being used now without restriction in an unconfined legal environment. Further, Rollins and Henning is telling you that judicial action limiting OCO to war power resolution is constitutional. External sequel evidence to attend, which talks about how cyber war securitization and its existence in the state of emergency allows for masses of securitization of the global commons. Congressional delegation normalizes these powers. External Nova and Holland 11 would show you that the free internet forms small publics and that these publics break down the monopoly that the state has on citizenship. The state's an emotional dimension that the state citizens come to define themselves in their way of life as a threat to their own way of life. Removing this is necessary because the state uses that monopoly to create warfare and clear out the overproduction of capital in ever more destructive wars. Marco 3 tells you that that those go nuclear as the United States has to suppress widespread discontent from their constant imperialism. And on to Case. Okay, extend our fiat solves circumvention argument. There's no reason that the fiat doesn't solve these. Their ability to invalidate the entirety of the affirmative with one argument saying it doesn't happen destroys any ground that we'll have in the round. Secondly, as the Supreme Court ruling isn't getting rolled back, their card is talking about vague orders. This is the law of the land. Also, they make this argument that these kind of that they read this card that talks about resulting global terror. However, no, that same logic is what's used to justify the impacts of the 1AC, and that's what we are breaking down through the 1AC. This we actually solve better for these things. They say they make this Obama will want to retain authority argument. However, no, it's in our 12 card, which talks about how Obama realizes and believes that he is confined by the law. Secondly, a Supreme Court ruling is not going to get rolled back. On to T. Extend our need argument, we are prohibiting residential war powers without the authorization of Congress and normal deadlines. There's no reason we are violating here. Also, we are completely prohibiting as war powers authorities as per the resolution because we are delegating it to Congress on this issue.
That's a black law section. Also say that also applies to their black law definition.
What? It applies to their law definition also, or we meet their law definition. Secondly, affirmative ground involving partial limits on presidential powers is most of the topic literature, which is a key to affirmative ground. No one's saying that we have to completely limit the executive powers of war in any area. Secondly, over limiting limits to the affirmative to pure restriction, which is a very small amount of ground clause education. We have to choose from about 5 apps. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, on to the counter plan. Extended permutation, there's no reason that the permutation doesn't function in the world of the counter plan. They make this silence argument. However, no, it referred to our, cross-apply our Smith 07 card here, and it referred to Fisher also, which talked about how courts are key to effective congressional rulemaking, and without that interaction between the two, it will always fail. So Smith and Fisher answer that question pretty clearly. Secondly, extend the DA that's on the counter plan that they dropped. They preserve presidential power through the counter plan and actually create more states of exception that we identify in the 1AC are very problematic. And secondly, it only continues the same kind of sovereign power that we indict in the 1AC to begin with. Yeah, and we need these kind of clarifications. Our Newman 9 evidence, which is saying that these unrestrained powers to declare states of emergency possessed by the sovereign power enables them to decide who is human and who is not. The negative team through the CP only enables that further, and until we solve for that, the impacts of the 1AC will always be replicated over and over again. To make this CP avoids a political bypass and congressional fights with a fine 12 card. However, there's simply no link here. Where there is no bill involved. We are in judicial action that delegates the authority to Congress. There's no congressional bill that has to happen post-judicial action. post-judicial action. They make this CP self-signaling argument, however, no, refers to the Lewis 9 evidence on this, which talks about how there's no new red tape, there's simply transparency. That probably solves signaling the best. Secondly, this part is talking about how the CP allows us to avoid congressional backlash. Again, there is no congressional bill associated with the affirmative, so this doesn't apply. They make this executive deference argument, however, refer to the DA on the counter plan that we put here. They preserve this kind of presidential power that we indict is probably problematic, and also it also results in a serial policy failure that Fisher's talking about when a president is acting too fast and not consulting others will always result in serial policy failure. They make this argument that the perm links harder into the net benefit for presidential powers authority. However, no, there's no clear explanation. He does not articulate this clearly in the block. No new
Now go cross-apply stuff in the SOP.
I already did Smith. Smith,
And Lorber 11 set up the double line.
Okay, cross-apply Lorber 11 to the counter plan.
The Executive Intelligence Act has been great folks.
No one is ever going to touch the Intel Act that they talk about in the SOP's DA or the SOP DA. It just costs way too much political power, and secondly, or way too much political capital. Secondly, this probably links back into the politics DA to begin with. And also, the Smith evidence indicates that court ruling on congressional action is key to effective rulemaking. Let's unpack the link debate here. They just sandbagged every one of their links.
On the patent.
Move the patent, move the flow. They just sandbagged every one of their links in the one and R, give them very little weight to these new links. They have no new process. We have no new constructions or process to interrogate them. So they say the president will spend energy to pass the plan, but they ignore the wrongs and Henning's evidence which shows that the balls in the Supreme Court's out for this. There's no intervention or jurisdiction struggles with other branches. There's no link on this DA.
Read this.
They say that the courts are infected with party politics, but the party politics they talk about are not related to congressional capital. Judicial capital is unlimited and infinite. No capital is spent on court decisions. There is just no link on this DA. There's no congressional bill associated. Also, no time frame. Our impacts are happening right now. They're large. There's no time frame. The patents are not even on the docket. Impacts outweigh, case outweighs. There's just no frame. No time frame.